Hi guys, this week I want to take a look at this guy, the Cypress TT-15. It's an amp simulator plugin and I'm running it through Reaper. It's made by this company called Black Rooster Audio. They do a lot of plugins. This one happens to be free of charge. I guess it's a promotional tool to try and get you to look at their other plugins. They have one other free one, I can't recall the name of it right now. But yeah, this one is free and it's great. I'll put the link down in the description so that you can find it for yourself. It's free to download. You just have to sign up your email address, create an account with them, and they'll send you a registration code or serial number. The actual amp itself, or the actual plugin itself, it's modeled on a orange Tiny Terror, which is pretty clear from the look of the amp. And the name Cypress TT, so TT stands for Tiny Terror, obviously. I'm going to be running my Chapman Guitars Telecaster straight into my Focusrite interface, and then into Reaper with this engaged on one of the channels, one of the tracks. First thing I notice about this plugin is it looks really nice, and that's a big thing for me. I really like when plugins have this kind of well done user interface that looks like a real piece of gear. I think it really helps musicians like me anyway to get to grips with the plugin when it feels more like a real piece of equipment and looks it. Very clearly is meant to look like an orange Tiny Terror. It's just kind of a pale green instead of an orange. Even the name, like Cypress, is kind of pretty close to citrus. It reminds you of orangey things. What are the actual controls? This input section here is just a graphic, does nothing. Then over here we have power, output, and cabinet. So power basically just switches the effect on and off. It's just like your bypass here, but it's in the plugin, which is kind of nice because guitar amps have power switches anyway, you know. Then the output section, it's meant to emulate the way you can switch between lower wattage and higher wattage on these kinds of amps. So it just gives a different character to the sound. Then the cabinet switches the cab simulation on and off. A nice feature of this plugin is that it comes with its own cabinet simulation. So you don't have to mess around with more plugins on top of it, but it does add this option which allows you to turn the cabinet simulation off completely, so that you can then use a separate cabinet simulator plugin to get a more specific tone that you want. But the one that's included does sound very nice, and honestly I would probably just use the one that's included and then put on some EQ afterwards, just to tweak the sound a little that way. Then the actual controls for the sound, for the bulk of the sound, are extremely simple. It's just 3 knobs. So you have your gain, your tone, and your volume. The gain essentially controls how much distortion is added to the signal. The tone is a very simple EQ control really, and the volume is it doesn't really affect the volume that much in this context. It's supposed to emulate how turning down the volume would affect the signal going in, but it doesn't change the volume of the waveform that much, I found. But it can be it can be very useful in cleaning up the tone if you want a cleaner sound. So that's all the controls, which is nice. I like the fact that it is so simple. It gives you more free rein for creativity when you don't get bogged down in too many options. This plugin really just does one thing really well, and that one thing is to sound like a Tiny Terror. And Tiny Terrors are very nice amps. They can go anywhere from really nice, lush, clean tones all the way to Black Sabbathy doom kind of sounds. So, as I said, I'm going to use my Telecaster plugged straight in, and we're going to do a quick demo and show some of the sounds. Okay, so here it is on the default setting, which is just everything at 12 o'clock, with the output section set to low. So let's just see what that sounds like. little bit of crunch to it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 different presets that you can choose from just to get you started. The first being the default, which is just everything at noon. It's not particularly inspiring. Then the second one is your clean tone. Yeah, again, it's pretty nice. It does have that orange breakup still if you play hard, which, you know, is nice, but you're not going to get a purely clean tone out of this, I'd say. Let's check out their crunch tone. Yeah, that's pretty nice too. I can see that as a usable tone, kind of a rock tone, a little bit fuzzy. Then you have your Brit High, which I'm assuming is supposed to be more of a kind of a Sabbath type sound, or, well, British rock metal. Oh yeah, it's kind of, I'm feeling a definite Sabbath vibe off of it. Yeah, that's nice. And then your lead tone, which is a lot of background noise, but, well, a huge amount of background noise. Yeah, you'd probably need to use some kind of a noise reduction tool or a noise gate to get any real use out of this. Yeah, but it's mainly because the gain was up ridiculously high. And also this guitar is a Telecaster, so it's got single coils in it, so they pick up a bit of extra noise. It might be better with something with a humbucker in it, or something designed for like high gain lead, I should say. Yeah, you can definitely get some nice doom tones out of it. Switching the output from low to high really kicks up the heft of it. In conclusion, I really like this. I think I'm going to keep it in my pedal folder for the immediate future anyway. It's the most straightforward and usable amp sim I've checked out in a while. Kind of a shame that it's hard to get a real clean tone out of it. Takes a bit of tweaking to get one, but that's fine. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll have the link to this down in the video description, and I've also just released a new single which is available on my artist channel that I just created, so I'll leave a link to that as well. You can check it out if you want to hear some music I've made. Be a nice way of supporting me. So thanks for watching.